Jana Duggar divorced with her husband Stephen. When whispers began to circulate earlier this week about growing tension between Jana Duggar and her husband Stephen, longtime fans of the Duggar family were left stunned, uncertain whether to believe the speculation or wait for clarity. The couple, who have largely kept their relationship out of the spotlight since their quiet wedding nearly 2 years ago, have now found themselves at the center of a swirling storm of rumors, with one word dominating conversations: divorce. Insiders close to the Duggar circle reported that Jana and Stephen had recently taken some time apart following what was described as an intense disagreement that lasted several days. Some family members were said to be deeply concerned, while others reassured that it's nothing unusual, just a rough patch. However, the nature of the disagreement was serious enough that it raised eyebrows among both relatives and fans alike. According to one confidant who requested anonymity, the couple's recent argument stemmed from long brewing frustrations around personal priorities, faith responsibilities, and emotional communication styles. While Stephen is known to be methodical and quiet, Jana has always carried the weight of leadership and deep emotional insight, traits that sometimes cause friction in a marriage that values traditional roles. Tensions reportedly escalated after Stephen made plans to take on a demanding community leadership role in their local church, plans that, according to sources, Jana was not fully consulted on. She felt sidelined, said the source, not because she wanted to stop him, but because she wanted to be part of the decision. The lack of open dialogue sparked a series of late-night conversations that quickly grew heated. One family friend shared that Jana had even briefly returned to the Duggar family home for a few days, telling her mother, "I just need some air, some time to think." It was during those few days of separation that speculation began to mount. A cryptic quote Jana shared on her private social media story, "Sometimes silence is how we learn to speak truth," set off alarm bells for fans who know she rarely posts anything abstract. Within hours, forums and online groups were filled with discussions dissecting every past appearance, every video, every sign that could have hinted at trouble. And while no public statement was made, Stephen, too, was seen attending a church event alone, without his wedding ring. The photo, circulated online, only intensified the belief that a breakup was imminent. But what began as a potentially unraveling relationship has, quite unexpectedly, turned into a story of rediscovery and healing. Just days after the growing rumors reached a boiling point, the couple quietly reunited for dinner at a close friend's home. No cameras, no staged photographs, just the two of them seated across the table, speaking, not arguing. An eyewitness shared, "They didn't look broken. They looked tired, yes, but there was love in the silence. They were listening." And that's where things began to turn. Since that dinner, multiple sources have confirmed that Jana and Stephen have been engaging in what one counselor called guided restoration, a form of intentional, values-based communication that allows couples to address deep frustrations while staying rooted in grace and empathy. The Duggar family, meanwhile, has remained supportive but neutral. Michelle Duggar reportedly told Jana, "The best marriages are not those without storms, but those that weather them together." That sentiment appears to have struck a chord. Jana, ever thoughtful, shared privately with a friend, "I never imagined our love would be tested this way. But maybe that's part of it. Loving someone doesn't mean we'll never be wounded. It means we choose to stay when the wounds come." As for Stephen, his silence has not been from denial, but from reflection. He's told those close to him that he regrets not involving Jana more in his recent plans, admitting, "She's not just my wife. She's my partner. And I forgot that in the rush to do what I thought was right." The turning point reportedly came one morning when Stephen left a handwritten letter on the kitchen table. In it, he apologized, not just for the argument, but for forgetting to listen. The letter ended with a line that moved Jana deeply. "Even in the silence, I missed your voice." That single gesture, sources say, reopened a door that both feared had closed. And from there, the healing began. Over the past week, Jana and Stephen have been taking intentional steps toward reconciliation. They've limited outside engagements, restructured their schedule to allow more couple time, and have even begun attending a marriage mentorship group led by longtime family friends. One session, in particular, focused on fighting fair, a principle that encourages disagreement without disrespect. A practice both say they are learning anew. Despite the emotional turmoil, those close to the couple insist this is not the end. Far from it. "This isn't a divorce," said one family confidant. "This is what real marriage looks like when two people care enough to face the hard parts. It's messy. It's painful. But it's also sacred." The speculation that flooded social media has now given way to quiet hope. Fans who initially feared the worst are now expressing admiration for the couple's resilience. Many have taken to comment sections and forums not just to offer support, but to reflect on their own relationships. "I was ready to walk away from my marriage," one follower wrote. "But watching how Jana and Stephen handled this, how they fought, how they stayed, it made me think twice. Maybe love is not about avoiding fights, but learning how to come back after them." That sentiment captures the heart of this unfolding story. It's easy to believe in fairy tale romances, in the curated perfection of public personas. But what Jana and Stephen have shown, quietly, painfully, and now redemptively, is that true love lives in the struggle, not above it. They may not post a photo shoot declaring victory. There may be no dramatic reunion vlog. But behind the scenes, the work is being done, and that, in itself, is a story worth telling. In a world where headlines often rush to announce breakups, failures, and scandals, this story stands apart. Not because it avoided the storm, but because it chose to stay through it. Jana and Stephen are not getting divorced. What they are doing is harder. They are choosing to repair what's been damaged, to speak what's been unsaid, to hold on to the vows that matter most when feelings are raw and fragile. And in that choice, they offer not just a statement of commitment, but a lesson for anyone listening. Love is not the absence of conflict. It is the courage to stand firm when the conflict comes. And for Jana Duggar and her husband Stephen, that courage may have just saved their marriage.